make African countries jump through hoops. Loans will never be able to pay. The US, when they borrow money, they're getting it in 1.5, 1.9 interest rate. Africans, when they get the same amount of money, they're paying 9, 10%.
Hello, welcome to Felina Management Consultants, one of the main promoters of entrepreneurship and sustainable development in Africa. My name is Nathan, your presenter. The topic for today is about how a strong African Union will block the re-colonisation of Africa, leading to political stability and global competitiveness. The vision of this program is to have a deeply entrenched culture of entrepreneurship. We need to start moving from being employees, from being job seekers, to being employers, to being entrepreneurs. We need to start developing all over Africa, especially from the young generation, starting from childhood, because this is very important when it comes to economic emancipation, economic freedom. All business partners need to be treated with respect. Responsible entrepreneurship leads to sustainable development. By this I mean whether you are an employer, an employee, a supplier, a customer, be it bank, be it the government, in the area of entrepreneurship, they all must be treated with respect and integrity. Therefore, thorough understanding of what entrepreneurship actually entails is very important, and how parties involved need to understand the power dynamics and synergies being derived or are likely to be derived from such a relationship. At the end of this video, kindly hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, and leave your comment below to enable us to bring you more eye-catching and beneficial information. You mean a lot to us and really appreciate your participation.
The US, when they borrow money, they're getting it in 1.5, 1.9 interest rate. Africans, when they get the same amount of money, they're paying 9, 10%. The people who don't need a break, they get a break. The ones who need a break, they don't get a break. The sheer survival of the World Bank, IMF, is based on the fact that African countries and many other developing countries do not succeed. Their success is based on our failure. That has to change. And guess who can make that change? We, the children of Africa, we, the Africans, are the ones who have to say, we know your game now. Enough is enough. We're not playing it anymore.
My view of the African Union with regard to the entrepreneurship and sustainable development are as follows. Focus of what is currently happening in Africa is what we are going to do now regarding the relationship that Africa is currently or would like to have in the near future with other parts of the globe, America, Europe, Asia, and within itself. All that is happening in Africa should be substantiated, should be clearly explained, and it's not a surprise. It seems like something has been building up over years. What is happening in Mali, Burkina Faso, Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia, DRC, to name but few. If you go to Guinea, if you go to Niger, now Nigeria is getting involved. So many things are happening, but I would like to use what is happening now to substantiate the reason for our lecture. We need to look at each of the areas of the African Union separately, because there is a lot that the African Union can and should do to make sure that Africa becomes globally competitive. A strong African Union will block the re-colonisation of Africa, leading to global competitiveness in a number of ways. The focus of today is the participation of the African Union in conflict management. A conflict-free society is more able to focus on meeting the Sustainable Development Goals agenda than the one engulfed by conflict. A conflict-free society is more able to focus on meeting Agenda 2063 than the one engulfed by conflict. The African Union has the responsibility to oversee and midwife the entire process of transforming the continent from babyhood to manhood. Some of the mandates of the African Union that directly impact on entrepreneurship are as follows. The African Union must monitor the implementation of the deliverables of both the Sustainable Development Goals Agenda and Agenda 2063. The African Union must create and maintain a conducive atmosphere for shared growth, shared development, and shared prosperity of the entire continent. The African Union must promote stability within the continent and with the outside world. It must encourage unity and solidarity. It must encourage international cooperation. It must oversee the promotion of good governance. The African Union must encourage full participation of the African diaspora in the prosperity of Africa.
And this is where the diaspora come in. There are more Ghanaian doctors in New York City than in the entire country of Ghana. There are more Nigerian doctors in LA than in the entire country of Nigeria. So let's be serious here. What Africa needs is capacity, capacity, capacity. And that capacity is in the diaspora. So it behooves us to bring the diaspora together. Let them understand what is really going on in our Africa. Diaspora are not going home. Diaspora are angry about Africa because they are not understanding the root cause of why Africa is where it is today. They think getting rid of a president will take care of the problem. Far from it. That president is just going to be replaced by another one who is going to equally suffer from the same difficult environment to work in. So let's look at an Africa that must be free to take care of herself, an Africa that's free from exploitation from outsiders.
Entrepreneurship must be placed on the forefront of whatever we do. It means, therefore, that all of us should work together to stem out any obstacles that prevent or hinder entrepreneurship, because this is the main root of economic and sustainable development. Without us working together, without each and everybody playing his part, we are not going to be able to stem out the obstacles that are preventing Africa from becoming globally competitive, from becoming a strong continent. And if we are putting our forces together, if we are putting our effort together, led by the African Union, then our sustainable development will be accelerated and we shall achieve it within no time. We shall be able to meet the 2063 agenda and shall also be able to meet the Sustainable Development Goals agenda.
We have a situation, and let me speak from the perspective of Kenya, our continent in Africa, and the global south. We need emergency liquidity. We need debt relief. We need urgently new money, with urgency, with scale. That's our situation. How are we going to get that in the current situation? Listening to Guterres this morning, we get development resources 8 times more expensively than others. We have inadequate resources, and it takes forever to access it. So how do we, how do we make meaning of this summit that my brother Emmanuel has put together? Our position is that if you want to get debt relief, emergency liquidity, and new money together, let us live here having agreed on one thing, that, like Guterres has said, let's look for 500 billion new money. But if we are going to distribute it the way we did SDR, we will end up with nothing.
For Africa to be globally competitive, the issue of entrepreneurship is very crucial. In the next presentation, we are going to look at the mandate of the African Union, its vision, the successes and the challenges that African Union is still encountering to be highly competitive globally. In conclusion, this is the message I'm giving to the viewers and listeners. I encourage every African to develop and promote the culture of entrepreneurship in you and your community. I appeal to the African Union, especially the African Union President, to take the issue of defending the continent and re-colonisation, which is the main cause of internal conflicts, very seriously. The African Union should implement more initiatives to promote entrepreneurship and sustainable development. Entrepreneurship cannot thrive in an unstable environment. The politicians need to understand that if they don't play their role in creating and ensuring stability in Africa, then the SDG agenda and Agenda 2063 will never be achieved, and global competitiveness will be severely compromised. I appeal to the African Union to make sure that the masses fully understand the benefits of the AfCFTA and any other initiatives. Lastly, I take this opportunity to thank you, all the listeners and viewers, for your time. Kindly hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, and leave your comments below to enable us to bring you more eye-catching, interesting, and beneficial information. Thank you for your time. Until next time, God bless you.